Let's be honest. The moment a woman shares something she protects from the world, your life quietly changes. You feel it before you understand it. The air shifts. Her voice slows. Her eyes stop scanning the room and start locking onto you. That's not coincidence. That's not friendliness. That's the earliest stage of emotional surrender, and most men completely miss it. Here's the truth you were never taught. Women don't fall in love through logic. They fall through safety. And safety isn't about muscles, money, or smooth lines. It's about what happens when she lowers her guard and hands you something fragile. A memory, a fear, a past mistake, a belief she's never said out loud. When she does that, she isn't testing you. She's already decided you matter. Men are taught to chase signals that look loud: attention, compliments, attraction. But real attachment is quiet. It whispers instead of shouts. When she tells you something personal, for no reason, there is a reason. She's checking whether you are emotionally steady enough to hold her truth without trying to fix it, judge it, or use it. This is where most men lose without ever realizing they were winning. They respond too fast. They interrupt with solutions. They minimize her feelings to appear strong. Or worse, they treat the moment like information instead of trust. And in her mind, a silent calculation begins. He doesn't get it. He doesn't see me. Female psychology works on emotional memory. She will forget what you said yesterday, but she will never forget how she felt when she revealed herself to you. That moment gets stored deep. If she felt safe, heard, and respected, attachment grows roots. If she felt exposed or misunderstood, attraction quietly dies. 7. If she keeps smiling. Here's something no one tells you. When a woman shares something deeply personal, she's already emotionally ahead of you. She's crossed a bridge you haven't even noticed. That's why men feel confused when things suddenly cool off. They think nothing changed, but everything already did. The masculine instinct is to perform, to impress, to prove value. But in these moments, value isn't proven, it's demonstrated through restraint, through presence, through not making it about you. The strongest thing you can do is stay calm, grounded, and attentive. Not reactive, not defensive, not overly emotional either. This isn't about being silent, it's about being stable. Women fall in love with men who can sit inside emotional weight without trying to escape it. When she shares a fear, she's asking a silent question. Can I trust you with my inner world? If your response makes her feel smaller, rushed, or analyzed, the door closes. If your response makes her feel understood without being dissected, the door opens wider than you can imagine. And here's the part that might sting. If she has shared something real with you and things still faded afterward, it wasn't because she changed her mind. It was because she didn't feel safe after she opened up. Attraction doesn't disappear instantly. It retreats. This is why emotional intelligence beats confidence every time. Confidence gets attention. Emotional steadiness builds attachment. Understand this, and you'll stop chasing signs of interest and start recognizing signs of love before it ever gets spoken. What she shares matters less than when she shares it. Timing is everything in female psychology. When a woman opens up early, casually, without drama or build-up, it means you've already passed an internal filter. She doesn't announce it. She doesn't make it ceremonial. She just lets it slip, almost like she's talking to herself. That's intimacy in its rawest form. Men often think vulnerability is always emotional, heavy, or tearful. That's a mistake. Sometimes it's subtle. A comment about her childhood. A quiet admission about what she's afraid of becoming. A story about a past relationship that didn't break her but changed her. Those aren't random thoughts. Those are emotional fingerprints. Here's the truth most men don't understand. Women don't reveal themselves to get advice. They reveal themselves to feel seen without being altered. The moment you try to reshape her experience, explain it away, or turn it into a lesson, she feels handled instead of held. This is where masculine presence becomes rare. You don't need to say much. You need to receive it well. The tone matters more than the words. Calm, grounded, non-reactive. When you don't flinch at her truth, her nervous system relaxes. That's attraction deepening on a biological level. A woman's body responds before her mind does. If she feels emotionally safe, Her body associates you with comfort, warmth, and trust. That association is powerful. It's why she starts thinking about you when nothing is happening. It's why she feels drawn without knowing why. But there's a trap here, and many men fall straight into it. The moment you realize she's opening up, you feel important, special, chosen, and your energy shifts. You lean in too hard. You start texting more. You seek reassurance. You subtly try to lock her down emotionally. From her perspective, the safety she felt begins to wobble, not because you're weak, but because you're no longer centered. Female attraction doesn't respond to neediness. It responds to steadiness. When she shares something personal, she's watching how it changes you. If you become more anxious, more eager, more intense, she senses instability. If you remain consistent, same tone, same pace, same grounded presence, her trust solidifies. This is why mystery still matters, even in emotional closeness. Not mystery as manipulation, but mystery as self-containment. She should feel that you have depth, boundaries, and a full inner life of your own. That you are choosing to be present with her, not clinging to her presence. Here's something uncomfortable but essential. When a woman shares something deeply personal, she is not asking you to match it immediately. Men who rush to open up back often think they're bonding. What they're actually doing is collapsing polarity. She wants to feel you are solid enough to hold space, not leaning on her for balance. Strength, in this context, is emotional regulation. If you can listen without fixing, respond without controlling, and stay present without attaching, you separate yourself from the majority of men she's known. And once a woman associates you with emotional safety and masculine calm, her attachment doesn't fade easily. It deepens quietly, almost invisibly. This is how love forms before either of you say the word. There's a moment most men don't recognize until it's already past. It's when she stops trying to impress you. Her voice drops, her posture softens. She shares thoughts that aren't polished, opinions that aren't socially safe, emotions that don't make her look strong. That's not comfort. That's surrender. Here's the hidden truth. Women don't surrender emotionally unless they feel you're stable enough to handle power without abusing it. The power of knowing her, the power of influence, the power of access. When she gives you that, she's unconsciously asking, will you stay the same now that you see the real me? Most men fail this test by changing. They tease too much to hide their discomfort. They pull away to regain control. Or they overcorrect by becoming overly serious, trying to do everything right. All of those reactions communicate the same thing: instability. And instability erodes trust faster than disinterest ever could. A woman in love doesn't need perfection. She needs predictability in your emotional core. When she shares something personal, she's mapping your reactions, not consciously. Nervous systems do this automatically. She's checking whether your tone spikes, whether your body language tightens, whether your energy becomes erratic. If it does, her system flags you as unsafe even if she likes you. This is why women sometimes say, I don't know what changed, I just don't feel the same. What changed wasn't attraction, it was safety. Men are taught to believe that attraction is built by doing more, saying more, showing more. But in these moments, attraction is protected by doing less and being more grounded, more patient, more emotionally disciplined. There's something else she's watching for: confidentiality. When a woman tells you something vulnerable, she is trusting you not just with her feelings, but with her identity. If you casually reference it later, joke about it, or share it with other seven indirectly, you fracture something that's very hard to repair. Respect, in female psychology, is deeply tied to discretion. If she senses that her inner world isn't safe with you, she won't confront you. She'll retreat, slowly, politely, quietly, and you'll think it came out of nowhere. Another hard truth. When she opens up, she's also measuring your self-control. Not sexual control, but emotional control. Can you stay calm when things get heavy? Can you remain kind without becoming submissive? Can you listen without losing your center? Men who can do this feel rare to her. Not exciting in a chaotic way, but grounding. And grounding men become addictive because they regulate her emotions without trying to own them. This is why men who stay composed during emotionally charged moments often become the ones women can't forget, They didn't spike her adrenaline, they lowered it, and her body remembers that. If she's shared something real with you, understand this: you're already standing inside a moment of potential love. What determines the outcome isn't chemistry, it's character under emotional pressure. Hold steady, and she leans in. Wobble, and she pulls away. Simple, unforgiving, powerful. There's a shift that happens after she opens a poem that most men misread. She may become quieter, less expressive, less responsive than before. And instead of recognizing it as emotional processing, men assume loss of interest and react from fear. That reaction is often what ends everything. Here's what's really happening. When a woman shares something deeply personal, her mind goes into evaluation mode. She's replaying the moment. Your tone, your words, your pauses. She's asking herself one question over and over. How did I feel with him when I was exposed? This phase is delicate. If you chase reassurance, you interrupt her processing. If you pull away dramatically, you signal punishment. Both communicate emotional volatility. And volatility tells her nervous system that opening up was a mistake. The men who win here do something counterintuitive. They stay consistent. Same warmth, same pace, same grounded presence. No pressure, no interrogation, no sudden emotional swings. Consistency after vulnerability is what turns attraction into attachment. This is where masculine leadership shows up quietly. Leadership isn't control, it's emotional direction. By staying steady, you're telling her without words, nothing changed. You're safe here. That message settles deep inside her. It creates trust not just in you, but in the relationship itself even before it's defined. There's another layer most men never see. When a woman opens up, she also opens a future projection. She imagines what life might feel like with you during hard moments. Stress, conflict, fear. If your response to her vulnerability felt calm and grounded, that future looks safe. If it felt chaotic or self-centered, that future feels unstable. Women fall in love with the future they feel with a man at just the present. This is why emotional reactions matter more than words. You can say the perfect thing and still lose her if your energy carries anxiety or need. Conversely, you can say very little and deepen her attachment if your presence feels steady. Another mistake men make is trying to escalate intimacy too quickly after she opens up. They interpret vulnerability as permission. It's not. It's trust. And trust moves at its own pace. When you rush it, she feels misunderstood. Patience here isn't passive, it's powerful. You're showing her that you don't need to extract something from her emotional openness, that you're not keeping score, that you're not trying to capitalize on the moment. That restraint signals high value in ways attraction tactics never will. And if you're wondering whether she notices, she does, on a level deeper than logic. If she continues to share over time, if her stories deepen, if her fears become more specific, it means the bond is strengthening. She's not just opening up, she's investing emotionally, mentally, biologically. At this point, her attachment isn't fragile anymore. It's rooted. So if she's shared something real with you and things feel quieter afterward, don't panic, don't push, don't pull. Hold your ground emotionally. Stay kind, stay present, stay steady. Because the man who can remain unchanged after seeing her vulnerable self is the man she begins to trust with her heart. The next stage is where most men completely misread her signals and lose the chance they didn't even realize they had. After she has shared something intimate, she will start giving tiny, almost imperceptible signs of emotional investment. Subtle glances, lingering touches, questions that test your judgment, little invitations into your world. And men often overlook these because they're looking for fireworks instead of whispers. Here's the brutal truth. Women fall in love not through grand gestures, but through repeated, quiet experiences of emotional safety. Every small moment she shares or even hesitates to share us a vote of confidence in you. She's asking herself if you are someone she can rely on with her inner world. That vote accumulates faster than dates, gifts, or compliments ever could. When a man notices these signals and responds with grounded presence instead of excitement or desperation, something remarkable happens. Her attachment deepens silently, imperceptibly at first. She starts thinking about you when you're not around. She imagines your life together in small, private ways. She remembers your reactions more vividly than the conversations themselves. And here's what most men never realize. At this point, she's already fallen in love. But there's a caveat: she hasn't said it yet. Saying, "I love you" is easy. Feeling it deeply is rare. And her emotions are still fragile. One misstep, an overreaction, a dismissive comment, a hint of neediness, and the attachment can recede. That's why men who understand this don't chase or pressure. They continue showing up as the stable, safe presence that earned her trust in the first place. Now, notice something subtle. When she shares personal thoughts, she's revealing layers that no one else sees. Her insecurities, regrets, and fears. These aren't stories meant to solicit advice, they're tests of emotional endurance. Will you crumble? Will you laugh? Will you judge? Or will you remain calm and attentive, showing her that she can exist fully with you, without pretense? Masculine attraction is often misunderstood. Most men think attraction is about dominance or charm, but real attraction, the kind that creates long-term desire, is about being the anchor in her emotional storm. It's about proving without words that your presence is predictable, that you are trustworthy, and that she can reveal her deepest self without consequence. That is magnetic. That is irresistible. Here's the final piece that most men miss. Once she starts investing emotionally, she will begin unconsciously evaluating your consistency across all areas of life. Your discipline, your lifestyle, your energy, your boundaries. Emotional safety alone isn't enough. It must be paired with respect, competence, and a grounded masculine energy. She's not just falling for your calm, it's the combination of calm and capability that makes a man unforgettable. So, when she has shared something personal with you, do not rush, do not overanalyze, do not try to win her heart with words. Continue to be the man who is steady, present, and emotionally anchored. The one who doesn't panic when intimacy deepens. The one who can receive her vulnerability without fear or need. Because men who can hold that space become the men women cannot stop thinking about, the men women quietly fall for before even realizing it themselves. And here's a reality check many men ignore. Emotional attachment is a silent, invisible force. She might not say it. She might not act overtly. But if you've held steady, if you've listened without reacting, if you've been consistent, she is already falling. The final truth is one most men never fully grasp. When a woman has shared something deeply personal with you, the game isn't about chasing, impressing, or convincing. It's about maintenance of presence. Your task is simple in theory, yet almost no man does it correctly. Be the calm in her storm. Be the anchor she can depend on. That's how love takes root. Most men panic at this stage. They overthink. They text too much. They try to show they care in ways that feel performative. But here's what actually matters: consistency, emotional consistency, behavioral consistency, predictable presence. These are the quiet signals that she records deep in her mind and body, far below conscious thought. Women remember how it feels to exist safely around a man more than anything he says or does. Understand this: the moment she shares her fears, regrets, or past pains, she has already placed a part of herself into your hands. If you mishandle it, you don't just lose attraction, you risk breaking a fragile trust that could have lasted years. If you honor it, even silently, you plant a seed of attachment that grows into love almost invisibly. Here's the subtle psychology. Women experience love as a process of emotional safety, not excitement. While men often confuse adrenaline and pursuit with affection, women are evaluating emotional security. Each time she exposes herself, your responses are being catalogued in her subconscious. Did you listen? Did you judge? Did you respect her pace? Did you stay grounded? Every reaction either strengthens her bond with you or diminishes it. And here's the part that separates men from boys. She will test this stability in tiny ways. A hesitation, a probing question, a sensitive topic. These aren't attacks, they're checks of your reliability. If you remain calm, composed, and unwavering, she feels that she can continue to invest in you emotionally without fear. That is the foundation of long-term attachment. This is why men who understand female psychology never rush intimacy. They don't force words like "I love you" or try to extract confessions of affection. They hold space. They show that love is earned through presence, not performance. And when done correctly, the result is almost magical. A woman who once only cautiously revealed herself now does so freely, without reservation, because she knows you will remain unchanged, steady, and anchored. So here's the ultimate takeaway. When she shares something personal, she has already started falling. Your job isn't to accelerate it with grand gestures or chase it with neediness. Your job is to protect the space she has given you. Show up with emotional discipline. Listen without reacting. Remain steady, grounded, and consistent. That is what makes a man unforgettable. That is what transforms vulnerability into love. And now, here's a question for you. Think about the last time a woman truly opened up to you. How steady were you? Rate yourself honestly from 1 to 10 and drop your answer in the comments. If this video gave you clarity, like, subscribe, and share it with a friend who needs to hear this truth.